This FIFE thing, I think, is just such an important and interesting and just gigantic topic. I have a feeling I'll be making a lot of work about this. It's also I also feel like it's worthwhile because I don't, not that I've been looking a lot. You would know better than me, actually. Because I haven't been roaming around MBTI nerd world that much lately, but I don't think I haven't seen that much material about this stuff, and I can't, especially for NFs, I can't imagine what would be more important for us to know about. Well, within this little frame of MBTI stuff, like I can't imagine what should be more compelling to us than this, because it is so key to any kind of human understanding at all, knowing about these FI-FE differences and really knowing what the other side is going through, and how they think and what rules books they're consulting and what interpretations they have. Because if you don't have that, there's just so many millions of things that don't make any sense, or that you will be de facto completely misinterpreting. And that goes for both sides. For me, looking at it from my perspective in these situations, perhaps unhealthy examples, and its unconsciousness and effect on the room group, my FE, it will, in my opinion, let itself down to the kicking logic out the window. Yeah, I think it does that too. It's unfortunate when that happens. I address all of this in my my FEFI series that I did earlier today. I talk about this stuff. Yep. Let itself down due to the kicking logic out the window. It blinds itself and then looks around as it wakes up. Yeah, and again, I would say just as too much TI, as we've just seen in Talking with Famous People and that whole bagarre where everyone's overcomplicating the shit. Like basically, I am, as the TE user, am just saying, or whatever, TI and FI and whatever I am. Whatever. For example, I have this comment to respond to. There's this epic comment that Grailable made in arguing, and I think it's about 2,000 words long. It is so intricate. It is so thoughtful and so logical. And I actually have to have a snack and a special nap just to get ready to answer that comment she did. But she's arguing with Eric on his terms, and it's marvelous. It's marvelous to see. But yeah, that's a planet I don't live on. For me, it's me with the TE, I guess, and the FI. I'm like, and I will work this into my response somewhere. It's just sort of like, I find it amusing to see all these TI people, these TI heavy people going into their whirls and whirls and just to my point of view. Well, here's the thing. I wouldn't say it's overcomplicated, but it is really complicated. And what I'm amused by is that, to me, it's pretty fucking straightforward. It's it's not about they're going into all of the legal, is it legal or not, or is it according to these incredibly intricate rules of logic? Was it okay for Eric to do this? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm just sort of it's just about how not to be a douche. It's actually quite a lot simpler than that as far as I'm concerned. So I've got that kind of amusement for the TI getting so super carried away. I mean, again, I don't begrudge them that. I'm like, well, it's interesting what they're doing, and it's whatever. It's just not my thing, and it's not, and from my point of view, is completely unnecessary. I mean, the whole thing could have been resolved of just have some basic human decency, just have some basic respect for another human being's, it's basically the mirror image of the very thing that you have been objecting to, and that you find you've been objecting to. When FI gets carried away and, as you say, kicks logic out the window, what just happened with Eric and that thing and that debacle was any concern for morality, people's feelings, everything except TI got kicked out the window. So again, in each case, it's a terrific analogy, I think, that we've come across in our little lives encountering that situation and thinking about it. It's just presented us, or me anyway, with a wonderful way of sort of illustrating what happens when the behaviors of people, it's not about the cognitive functions, the people who have those cognitive functions, if they are unbalanced and run around and do a whole bunch of silly shit. That's one thing. But that says nothing about what the fucking cognitive function is. It misses the point entirely. Okay, so they're two completely separate things. And anyway, yeah, so people losing their shit and being assholes and being little crybabies and making all kinds, as you say, shit storms and creating scenes and seeking attention and needing to take up all this airtime with their silly nonsense. To say that is FI is nuts. It's not. It's not. It's the result of silly people who happen to have FI in there. And is it true that someone with FE would be very unlikely to do something like that? Yes, it is. But FE people are liable to be shitty assholes in a whole other way and tend to miss the point in a whole other way. And they are. And that's what I'm talking about in the videos when I'm like, hello, you genius INFJs, like, do you realize what idiots you're being on this? Like, do you realize how completely ignorant and very uncharacteristically so you're being on this whole FI thing? Interpretation, which is actually a non-interpretation. It's a total just ignorance of what FI is about, in fact, according to Jungian theory. Okay, sorry, back to the letter. Where was I? Okay, for all the good that it is. Yes, so perhaps unhealthy examples. Yeah, perhaps. But even more to the point, these are just silly people. And again, silly people come with all different kinds of cognitive functions. I've met quite a few. I mean, yeah. Plenty of INFJs I've met have been totally fucked, terrible at their relationships, totally out to lunch about how they feel, don't know what they're doing, say really blunt, socially stupid things sometimes, are raving drunkards. I mean, they're people. Okay, so we can talk about people, we can talk about the cognitive functions, but let's not pretend that one is the other, and that's just that don't conflate them, because it's not appropriate, and it's profoundly intellectually dishonest, ultimately. Or not dishonest, that's the wrong word, because I know that's not the case here. It has nothing to do with that, but it's profoundly inaccurate. So even by your own favorite measuring stick of TI, if that's which it would be, I guess, in your case, even by what I'm saying is, by INFJ's own measuring stick of what is reasonable, this is what this INFJ typical reaction of knowing nothing about FE and totally misunderstanding it, totally misrepresenting it, and not looking into the actual theoretical material that is the foundation of this entire model we're even talking about within this frame, is profoundly ignorant. Yeah, anyway, sorry, I don't know how many times I need to say that. Okay, for all the good that FI is, for me to be is these situations, and its unconsciousness and effect on the group, right? It will, in my opinion, let itself down due to the kicking. Yeah. Oh, sorry, why am I still reading the same damn thing? Sorry. But can this uncover the FE doorway for INFJ? The impersonal, the non-attachment. Yeah, I mean, I think that the non-attachment, I think, anyway, just see it's funny. Oh, this is weird. Maybe this is another one of I don't know. Maybe this is another one of those weird, like, out of asynchronous, I want to say synchronicities of our thinking. Because it seems, as I'm going through your letter you wrote this morning, it seems to me like I spontaneously, without having read this letter, I answered all of this in my FEFI series this afternoon. Oh my God, that's like, woo! Oh, that's cool. That's pretty cool. Anyway, I talk about this too, strangely. Yes, maybe I posit somewhat of the same question, like maybe maybe these insensitivities, these insensitivities on each side actually are essential features that serve a useful function, and enable the people on each of those sides to fulfill their roles in society, that sort of get all the NF stuff covered together with, you guys are taking care of this area, we're taking care of this area, And maybe we've got it all covered that way. And maybe that's how it's supposed to be. And the respective insensitivities on each side, the different kinds, really make it possible for those people to perform their functions in society even more effectively. I don't know.